welcome to another episode of Reason with Ashleigh-Ann. I'm Ashleigh-Ann, and we are live right here on Jamaicans.com. Reason with Ashleigh-Ann is a show that I do every week on this platform, and I completely enjoy engaging with you. It's very, very serious times, and I really want to engage with you on this very important topic. Let's first introduce ourselves. So I'm Ashleigh-Ann, and I have been a journalist for basically 6 years. I've been sharing these local stories on this platform for at least, I feel like I've been doing this for more than a year, even though it's on and off. Now that I'm in, and the reason I do it, by the way, is to help Jamaicans right across the world to finally understand and share their opinion on what is happening right here in the island. So as you come into the discussion, please share where you're connecting from. I'm connecting from Kingston, Jamaica, and this show is basically a conversation between you and I about what is happening in the island, right? So if you're not chatting to me, the show now go on for long, okay? As you come in, just tell me where you're connecting from. I'm pretty sure that you are seeing the reports, seeing the news reports, seeing the stories as to what is happening in Jamaica and the likely shutdown of the island, right? I know many of you are very concerned about it, and we're going to go in depth with it. Welcome, Marlette. She says, hello, beautiful lady. Nice to see you, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, in the house. Thank you for joining me. I see Xavier has joined. Yay! Alright, so let's talk about it, because as we all know, the parish of St. Catherine is currently on a lockdown, as there has been reports. Well, the government has announced that over 30, you know, the number is just, everybody gives a different number. So let me just go with the safest things to say that over 30 confirmed, well no, over 50 confirmed cases of COVID-19 was detected or have been confirmed, or rather say confirmed. So we have 52 cases, that's what the health authorities are saying, of COVID-19 coming out of one call center, one BPO organization right there in Portmore, St. Catherine. So the decision was taken by the government to shut down that parish so that they can contain the spread of the virus. Following that announcement, I've been seeing the videos. I don't know if you've been seeing the videos. Hi, Paulette from Toronto, Canada, and I see Marlene here from Florida. Hi, how is Florida? I don't know if you've seen the videos, but the minute the Prime Minister made the announcement, almost half of the population of Portmore decided to vacate their homes and go somewhere else. Many people have been saying that they're headed to Kingston and St. Andrew. Other people have been saying that they've gone to other parishes, and we've heard of reports of persons going as far as Hanover just to escape the lockdown. My thing is, and from where I'm sitting, I really think that there is going to be a likely shutdown of the country in the coming days. And if you agree with me, you can say so. If you don't, you can still share your thoughts. I'm just going to just mention you as you come in. Faith, thank you for joining me from Philadelphia. Tori from Alabama. Ooh, Carmel right here from, well, she says Houston, Texas, and she's also saying, shut the country down. I want to come home in the fall. Alright, so I'm guessing that you actually live in Jamaica. You're stuck over there in Houston, Texas. That's another situation that we're going to talk about pretty detailed in this conversation as we try to unpack some of the issues surrounding this COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affecting Jamaica and Jamaicans. Alright, so the reason I am bringing this forward as to the likely shutdown of the country, without a doubt, Jamaicans are finding it quite of adjusting to make yourself comfortable, but it's a matter of compliance at this point. There are several issues, and I want to share my thoughts with you, and I want to hear what you have to say as well. But I'll read your comments live. There are several issues concerning the containment of this virus in Jamaica, and one of it is that Jamaicans are unable, I have to say, unable to practice social distancing. And it's reaching a state now where, as a result of this, we have so many other persons who weren't infected with the virus being infected. Up to yesterday, we've heard of a report where a 2-year-old in St. James was confirmed to have COVID-19, which is very, very sad, because I can just imagine as a child how you're going to try to grapple with all of those symptoms. It's so sad. Christopher Bird, thank you so much for joining. Too much wind blowing in your microphone. Okay. Let me make that quick adjustment so that you guys can hear me. If you're hearing me clearly, please let me know. Just a second. Alright. So, I have my fan because, weather is... It's getting hot in Jamaica. So hopefully it's a little bit better. Christopher and others, just let me know if you can hear me clearly. Alright. So, Jera, connecting from Texas. We have quite a few people here from Texas. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight, and I see the numbers are jumping. Please go ahead and share the video. And we're talking about the likely shutdown of the island of Jamaica as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, Faith, thank you for giving me that information. Alright, so back to what I was saying. Jamaicans are finding it a little bit difficult to practice social distancing, and I have been spending some time. I know I usually come on here a little earlier than usual, earlier in the week to discuss the topics, but I really wanted to get a further grip of the issues as to why it's so difficult for most Jamaicans to practice social distancing, right? Here are the issues. So first issue, which is blatantly clear, as you can see on social media, is that Jamaicans tend to be indisciplined, right? Without a doubt, we tend to be indisciplined. So even if we can ensure that we are abiding by the government's restrictions and policies, we choose not to. You understand? And that for me is very problematic, because if it gets to a case where the government is totally, or the health department is totally unable to assist so many people who would be infected and get ill and need the medical assistance, then it's just going to be a very sad situation for us. So that's one thing for me. I think disobedience is one thing. We just feel as if we're supposed to be defiant, and sometimes it's not sometimes, it don't make no sense. It makes no sense to be defiant right now. So that's one of the issues. And I want to read your comments. Carmel says, I live in foreign since 1972, but JA is my home. Okay, I understand what you're saying. So you want to come home, you want to visit the country. I understand. Joyce says it's difficult everywhere, but we have to follow the government guidelines to save our lives. This is the new normal. This is the new normal in the UK. This is real. That's what Joyce has to say. Marlette saying, I'm home now for 1 month, not working. I don't have a choice. I'm not sick, but better to be safe more than sorry. Anthony Salmon say, hi from the UK. Hi, Anthony. Sharon says, why is it that every country have to abide by the rules? And the reason I paused there, Sharon, I want to understand why you're asking that question. Maxine says, hi from Gainesville, Florida. I have family. I have friends in Gainesville. So big up, Maxine. She said, please, Jamaican, follow the rules. COVID is no joke. It's no joke, and we've seen cases. We've seen the stories of New York. We've seen the stories of Italy. We've seen the stories coming out of so many countries that are being affected by COVID-19, right? Christopher says Jamaicans are very indisciplined. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is that there are a number of issues that have been magnified through this COVID-19 pandemic, and that is presenting quite a challenge for Jamaicans. One of the main issues is that there are many Jamaicans who are living hand to mouth. There are many Jamaicans who are living hand to mouth. So literally, they're unable to, well, they find it harder to commit or abide by the rules of the government because they literally cannot afford to stay inside, right? The government has, for the St. Catherine, the lockdown in the parish of St. Catherine, the government has designated 2 shopping days, right? 2 shopping days for the residents to go and just pick up the essentials. So he calls them the necessities or the essentials of life, which he believes to be, or what the government would classify to be, food and medication, right? And I am telling you, right as we've seen yesterday, there are so many people. Hi Joy, thanks for joining me. There are so many people who say, look here, the government give me 2 days to go on the road and get some food to stock up or some medication, and I am out of a job, so I can't even go outside and I can't even make use of that opportunity. I am suffering during COVID-19. It is real, and I know many people on social media has been they have been chastising so many of the persons who, let me say from the inner city, who aren't necessarily practicing social distancing, and it makes you wonder, why is it so difficult? So that is one thing, right? Sharon said, you said Jamaicans are finding it difficult. Yes. Okay, so I understand your question now, Sharon. So you're saying, why is it every country have to abide by the rules? Yeah, we have to abide by the rules, but we also, as I was saying in my second point, we also have to recognize that there are many Jamaicans. There are many issues within Jamaica now, and because of those issues becoming unaddressed, they are now magnified and they are becoming super issues now with COVID-19. If you agree with me, you can share your thoughts, and if you don't, please, I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. Valny says, hi Valny, I feel like this is the first time you're watching my live. From Negril all the way to Port Antonio is in danger. The top of chain have everything stock up. I want you to explain what you mean about the top of chain, because one of the concerns is that so many people, not many, let me say not so many people, but quite a few people on social media have been chastising those who really just can't afford it and have to be breaking the rules just to ensure that they can provide meals for their family. And there is an argument that rather than chastise me, help me out now, help me out. There, I saw where somebody on Twitter said, I sent home my household helper because I'm home, so I can do the cleaning, I can do the washing, but I continue to pay her because she has a family to feed. How many Jamaicans have taken that step? Many Jamaicans are now laid off from their jobs, and they're totally unable to cover their bills because, as I said, the major issue is that they are living from hand to mouth. The money that they were making from work isn't enough to suffice all their expenses. So now that they aren't making any money, you can just imagine how much that issue has magnified. I want to share your thoughts. Marlette says, I understand that it's hard work, paycheck to paycheck, but you have to make the sacrifice. Sharon says, yes, I understand, but I see some people just idling, unfortunately. And I did raise that point. There are many Jamaicans who are quite indisciplined, right? Without a doubt, there are many Jamaicans who are quite indisciplined. So we're at the position now where some Jamaicans are preparing for a lockdown, because without a doubt, if the government or health authority is unable to contain this virus in the country, we have some serious issues to contend with. Serious issues. We don't want to see the death toll rising. We do not. But I think we have to also address the underlying issues. There are so many things that are being pushed aside, right? Many Jamaicans overseas are basically stranded overseas, and their families who depend on them to continue and enjoy the necessities of life they're unable to provide for their family because they're stranded overseas, right? And it's very frustrating for them, and I can understand that. There are many sacrifices, but I also think that we have to consider why it is so difficult for Jamaicans to comply. I want to hear your thoughts. Paul says stay home. Well, the Prime Minister was very blunt in his remarks this week, and he said, look here, Tana your yard. If you don't understand what it means to social distance, to self-quarantine, Tana your yard. I completely understand that, and I've been saying that, and I've been trying as best as possible to stay home. But for some people, that's just not the reality, right? So we're talking about that, but I want to also address another story that continues to be shared, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. And it's the story of the ship workers who were abandoned. Well, I don't want to say abandoned at sea, but that's basically what everybody is saying. Abandoned at sea. They're unable to return to the island because they did not receive a reply to their request to dock in time from the government, and they had to head out, right? I want to head out to a different port. I want to hear your thoughts on it. The government, the Prime Minister himself, came forward in his last press conference to say that, look here, we heard about this. We were made aware of these ship workers, right? We were made aware of these ship workers being unable to return, making a request to dock. We considered all the factors and we said, yes, go ahead. However, on the part of the ship workers, when the clearance from the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security came forward, the ship had already left. I want to know your thoughts. On the side of the ship workers, they said the clearance request was made a day before. So they got a response a day after they were waiting. They waited for hours, and I mean, realistically, I understand why they left, right? The government has said, look here, we didn't tell them to leave. We did not say, no, you can't come in. They just didn't get the response in time. What are your thoughts on it? I want to know your thoughts on this story because it continues to be it continues to develop, it continues to be a sore in this COVID-19 fight in Jamaica, and I think more and more Jamaicans are becoming disheartened by the development, right? Sharon says, what are the numbers of COVID-19 cases out here today? Well, as of today, I am as of up to now, when I'm doing my live, I know of 143 confirmed cases in Jamaica. So that's the number right now, as of now, right? Daytona said they abandoned them, right? There are many people who believed that these ship workers, the 40 odd of them, they were abandoned at sea. Many of them have given stories to the media to say that other ship workers from different countries are on the ship, and their government sent ships or whatever, vessels for them to bring them home. Why did our government leave them stranded? That's their perspective. Barbara says the ship did not give the government enough time to make the arrangement to do so, right? Valney says it is so drifting on the sea. Barbara Walters says I'm going to find it more difficult if they don't follow the rules, where they have to go out and bungle in a line to buy food and do banking. Oh, you're talking about Jamaicans who find it hard to social distance. That's another question. I think that's an issue of literacy. Because I think if you completely understand or can comprehend what is being shared about social distancing, you'll be more obliged to comply. I think that's a matter of indiscipline and a matter of literacy. Balni says, we can find an idle young man next day, but we disrespected our own. Interesting perspective. So many people have been calling the move by the government to take so long to respond, right? Disrespect. Daytona said they were abandoned. I think it's a very unfortunate situation, because as with the situation with the Alarica worker who tested positive, and then so many more cases come out of that call center, which I'm going to get to that shortly. It's very unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. However, we have so many undetected cases in the country already, and there are so many other Jamaicans that are basically stranded in other countries who have gone to probably work, gone to study, you understand, gone to visit, and they are hoping to return to the island, right? I think at this stage, if we focus too much on the fact that maybe the government could have hastened their response, their process, so that, you know, they'll be able to assist Jamaicans who are left stranded. Yeah, that's a consideration. However, we also have to look at the fact that there are so many issues right now in the island that the government is contending with, that we can't get ourselves distracted too much. It's very unfortunate. Without a doubt, I completely understand that, right? But I also believe that we have to get to the bottom of this issue in Jamaica about the undetected cases, right? Valley says, America, bring Americans home. You left off. Well, I'm not seeing any more of your comments. Sharon says, the people need to try and comply, otherwise it will take many lives. And we don't want that situation. We really don't. We really don't want that situation, Sharon. Marlet says, my heart goes out to all the ship, but everyone have to understand so many things is going on at the same time. There are so many things going on, right? And I really feel it for them, because I know how it feels to not be at home. I have been away from home, working overseas, and I just miss, especially in a crisis, you want there with your family members. You understand? So I completely understand that. Okay, just before I wrap up the show, I want to get your perspective. Hands up, and I want you guys to use the emoji, right? Hands up if you think before there's a likely lockdown of the country, we should shut down the BPO sector. Hands up if you believe there are cases, there are rumors that there are cases, more cases within the BPO sector, right? I want to hear your thoughts. Should we say, guess what? If you're not working from home for these BPO business organizations, then we're going to ask you to shut down until we contain this virus. I want to hear, do you think the government should make that step? Corrine says, I live in the US and wish you were home. I guess you mean wish I was home, right? I think that's right. Oh, I was home. I'm seeing the correction now. Yeah, that's the reality, Corrine. That is the reality. So many people wish they were in Jamaica right now. So many Jamaicans are living overseas who wish they could be home. Joyce gave me a thumbs up. She thinks the BPO sector should be closed down. I want to see if it's only Joyce believes that the BPO sector should. Don't send me the likes, please. Please put the comment. Please comment either the thumbs up, or you can put up your hands, or you can clasp your hands. Marlet did the same thing as well. Daytona says they knew that the other country would not accept. Well, I think I want to say accept them, just as how Jamaica would accept another country. I don't think they knew that. Valley says, welcome to Jamra. Did we check the Asians coming into Jamaica? Which Asians? What talking about? No, what's he talking about? Seriously. Tell me what he's talking about, Valley. Sharon says it's not an essential place of work. The BPO, I was talking about the BPO sector now. Paul put up his hand. Carmel put up her hand. Sharon said yes. Alright, so here are my thoughts, and I'm going to do it very quickly because you know we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. I think right now Jamaica is going to get a hard hit economically from this COVID-19 pandemic, and continue the whole the length of time that we spend trying to contain this virus. I think it's going to be telling as to how long it will take for us to recover. We are already feeling the economic pinch, and I think so many people, and it hurts my heart that so many people are making huge sacrifices. While that is the case, I think it is time for us to make drastic measures. Take drastic measures. So if it means to tell them, say, look here, if you can make your workers work from home, then guess what? I think you need to close your doors, right? It wasn't after we heard the announcement through the media about the cases, through the government about the cases, that the company responded. And I'm talking about the BPO company, Alarica, that from that company we had over 50 odd cases. I think the government cannot play at this time. I really think that they can do more for those people who are living hand to mouth, without a doubt. Hands down, I believe that, right? A lot of people are suffering right now in whatever way. Not only the government, but as individuals, as Jamaicans, we can help people who really struggling right now. We should. But we need to take some drastic measures to contain this virus, because we don't want to see a situation as Italy. We do not want to see a situation as Italy. I've heard people saying that China is on a good way in terms of recovery, right? And I would love for Jamaica to get to that place. If you agree, you can just send me some hearts, right? I really appreciate you guys sharing with me. I see the numbers jumping. I see that you're enjoying the conversation. I see where it's steady as well, right? I really appreciate you guys sharing with me. And if there is any topic that you'd want me to share in my next show and discuss, please send me a message. I'm on Facebook, right? You can check me out at Ashleigh-Ann Mott. I go live on Jamaicans.com Facebook page every week, right? Every week. So if there is a topic that you want me to earnestly discuss, please send me a message, right? Valley says, contractor building roads and bridges. I was on the island and see them doing road work, more house wholesales. Check everyone, it's very serious. Well, that's a good, I understand what you're saying now. Check the oh, so the reports that Asians are responsible for sharing the virus. I don't think that's the situation. I think you should just check everyone. As you said, check everyone. What days do I go live? Good question. Any day. Literally any day. So there isn't a specific day. So my best bet, your best bet is to turn on the post notification for Jamaicans.com so that you will always know when we go live. So what you can do at the end of this, when I end this live, you can go ahead, those three little dots there, right? Just click the three little dots, look for turn on post notification for this live, and then you'll never miss one. You will never ever miss one. Or when you see the notification come up, you can also click the three dots and do the same thing, right? Sharon says, what's the situation in Portland? The last story I heard coming out of Portland is the death of a 63-year-old woman, which is very, very sad. You understand? So that's all that I've heard from Portland. I don't know if there was a specific issue you were talking about, Sharon. Thank you so much, Corinne. Thank you so much for joining. You said this is your first time. I really appreciate it. I love your feedback as well. Joy, bless up yourself. Thank you for the hearts. And continue to support Reason with Ashleigh-Ann. We are growing. We are growing and we're getting stronger. And we'll continue to get stronger post-COVID-19. We're going to get through it. Many people going through a lot right now who have lost their jobs. And I'm just telling you that we're going to get through it. We are going to get through it. I'm feeling the pinch as well, guys. But guess what? we are going to be stronger. Paul, bless up yourself. Right? Very informative and interesting. Much love. Thank you, Corrine. Alright, so this has been another episode of Reason with Ashleigh-Ann Mowat. Faye, you stay safe too. Barbara, you too. Alright, I will respond to every single comment right here. Well, I try to. I don't want to make a false promise. I'm not a politician. So, I am going to try as best as possible to respond to each. If I'm able to, sometimes I get a whole heap of comments. But you can always send me a direct message, Ashleigh-Ann Mowat on Facebook. Right? My page. I don't check my profile as much as I check my page. So go over to my page and send me a message. Really love the love. Stay on Jamaicans.com for very interesting shows. And give me some suggestions as to topics to discuss next time I go live. Alright? Another episode of Reason with Ashleigh-Ann Mowat. Take good care of yourself.